Hello there, it's Emile, now known as Emile YX, but the Emile B-Boy Warlock from 1982's Pop Glide crew, and then from Black Noise, both B-Boy crew and hip hop crew, Asu.
Yo, I'm B-Boy Mark, all the way from the northern suburbs. Basically, I've been dancing for over 20 years already. I've been dancing with Universal Icons, Immortal Style, and we're basically running my own organization, Original B-Boy Foundation. We're there to work on fitness, health, and basically life skills as well. And we're just bringing back to the community and teaching the youth something different and positive as well. Peace out.
I'm Adam Haupt, Professor of Media Studies at UCT. Been doing research on hip-hop since 1993, believe it or not. Been working on POC, Philosophy Art, and everything else after that, Hail the Hood, Black Noise, living and learning every day. Mostly write about MCs, but I've been working with dancers for quite some time, doing work on workshops, education, hip-hop education in Baka.
Alright, this is King Voue, legendary Crazy Hip Squad, keeping it fresh from 1995, keeping it real. It's what it is.
Greetings to the world, Joe Baka here, a Zanian B-boy since 93. Yeah man, representing Cape Town, South Africa, and that is how we do. Boom!
Welcome to Walk with Mel. Today is a very special show. I'm super excited to be here. I'm happy that I was here with some amazingly great and talented and experienced people on the show today. This is something that I always wanted to do. Shout out to you for also making it possible for us here today and for the venue, etc. Today is a special day because I want us to start talking about things that we talk about on social media. And I want us to start finding solutions for the scene, and also talking about what happened back then versus now, and how, and the way forward for us as dancers, as hip hop in the scene. So let's talk about why. Let's start with that. Why did you get into hip hop? Why? What was the reason for you guys getting into hip hop? We'll start over here.
So me, okay, maybe somewhere in 1991, 1992. I wasn't hip hop, I checked out at the time Michael Jackson was big.
Michael is the one?
Was New Kids on the Block. So I saw this ones doing windmills in their sets, in their shows, and that's the first time I saw dancing, and I wanted to do that. It was only much later, like maybe 95. The first crew I saw at the waterfront, just fresh after democracy came in, was Dream Team at the VNA, and that really blew my mind. And then I saw them again on an old show called Paras with Baka, and this man next to me was doing flips there in the show. Emile was also in that show. In fact, Mark, it was at Brown's Cafe. It was a competition there. Then I saw, and only after that I really wanted to get into it. But the first formal lesson I got was like from Hildewood, somewhere in 1998, somewhere there from Hildewood.
Wow, lekker man. And your side, so why did you start in
Well, my side is, when was it? It was about the same time, maybe a bit earlier, a few years earlier. It wasn't like the mindset hip hop, it was more, it was crews, but they were doing freestyle.
Yes.
You know, the
freestyle,
boys, and exotics and all these guys. So we saw them on school carnivals, you know?
Sure.
On school carnivals. And then also, at the same time they were performing, we saw Audio to Hype Crew, Ray Cliff, Mustafa, Kevin, all those people. You know?
Sure.
And that's how I got into it, you know, in school, in primary school, I started doing it at the carnival. And from that day, I was just following it the whole time.
Wow.
Item moves.
Lekker Zay.
You know, steal the
Fatten,
moves.
fatten.
And then go to the houses. Altijd lastig. But that's how we got into it.
Lekker. It's kwaai man. Ja, let's go op een nieuwe site, Emile.
Ja.
Wij hebben die man het geleerd. Ja. So, dat is interessant om die te hebben. Dat is een quick one.
It was in like maybe 80 or 79. I started copying Michael Jackson. I think it was off the wall. It was a beta tape of Diana Ross performing with Michael Jackson. So I copied those moves. But the man didn't know that those stuff he actually put from the streets of you know, the dances and the music. And then it evolved into like small snippets on TV that you saw on the news. There was no slow motion. There wasn't even any video machines.
You got to rewind.
For mixing stuff. Most of the first ones were popping.
Yeah.
And so we called our crew Pop Glide crew.
Yes.
Because that was the pop and glide was
Yes.
the thing. And then a bra came from Canada and showed like heavy stuff. We were like steken voor Canada. Ons gaat gewoon bij elkaar.
Dus
Canada
Canada
niet zo langzaam. So it was heavy evil, and he was like, he basically showed us like the foundation of some of the stuff.
Wow.
And then from there, so we just like, entered competition.
Just keep on growing. Yeah.
I think the first competition was at Route 66. We met D, they were called City Kids.
Sure.
They later became Ballistic Rock.
Okay.
So yeah, it's
been a while. It's been a while. And then your side, Mr. Mark?
My side, early 90s, where I used to watch Vanilla Ice and December.
Yes!
Those were the guys that actually inspired me as well. And afterwards, my sister went out with two twins. They used to dance with the Brass Monkeys on the bass. And I just saw these guys doing flips and stuff in front of my yard. So I decided, okay, why not just try it out and stuff like that. And afterwards, it just started to go with the flow. And the music, like the pop and rock music that's coming into now, they're actually driven yourself in.
Yeah.
Because that time it was just power moves.
Yeah.
And it like drivens you and
Yeah.
gives that feeling to go for it. But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know that the beat actually and stuff like that. And afterwards I went to like doing freestyle, like about doing freestyle and stuff like that, pop and rock, boogaloo and stuff like that. And afterwards I found myself just becoming a b-boy and just throwing it down on the floor. And that is how I met a zillion b-boys, Chris Heap squad him and Emile and Black Noise him. They used to come to us in Kravenstein, throwing power jams, the Loft comic strip, the Alex Garou, all that events. Oh, it was nice that time. It was fire that time. That is how I involved and
just grew from there.
Yeah.
Cool. And then you, Mr. Adam, I mean, you come up from a different angle, which I love. Lekker, that's alright, that's okay, it's okay. But you've got the knowledge, you started researching, you said, way back in the 90s, tell us why. Why did you go into that and why did you start doing that?
93, working on an honors dissertation at UWC, the English department, on Ice-T's Body Count album. And what led me to that was I was looking at African literature, African American literature. I was wanting to connect that to what I knew about poetry, about spoken word, and the blues. And as I was unpacking that, I'm watching TV one day and I'm watching the Theory Top 20 with Lawrence Dubé and Emile Jansen, and they play this video, this music video about prophecy, understanding where I'm coming from. I knew this music video was going to get banned.
Yeah.
So I ran out to every music store I could find and to locate this album. And I got the album actually before it got pulled off the shelves.
Wow.
And that became my MA thesis. And the rest of it is history. I got to know Shani and Dee. I interviewed them in '94 after they were burned, basically. They were still, they were angry about how they got shafted. And the rest is history. I really only got to know the hip hop community after handling that dissertation on POC.
Lekker man, lekker vibes. So let's talk about the breaking. Mr. Jal, maybe pose this question to you. Like, how do you think? Whoever wants to answer as well can add. How did breaking evolve, like growth-wise, from back then to now, in your opinion?
Well, honestly, it just became more business oriented, you understand? So nothing is new. Nothing is new. No move is new. It's already been done. You know, if you're conscious of that. Yeah. So basically, it's just like on this side, the business avenue of things. That's what evolved. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that is how we definitely
That's
changed.
Yes, it changed.
Things.
Social media.
Yes, of course.
Big role. So back then we didn't have all these things. You know, we didn't have a knowledge of business.
Exactly.
We wouldn't
You just danced.
Yeah, we wouldn't do it that. You know, we would that the opportunity wasn't there. Wasn't presented to us to get to know the business aspect of things. So yeah, we were just dancing. You know.
Yo, lekker. Maar het is true. You're just doing the thing, and then you maybe you think it and you say, I didn't think.
I mean, from not being able to access footage to like everyone being able to access footage. So back then, I think people were much more innovative because there wasn't enough access to what was outside. I mean, even just doing Battle of the Year.
Yeah.
Like when they said South Africa, everybody ran to the stage because they knew they were going to see something different.
Yeah.
And with time, they just disappeared. Like people don't expect South Africa to show anything that they haven't seen before. Which is kind of sad, but that's also because of people's access to the internet and also people's idea that anything that's not from here is better, and so they don't bring nothing that's really like from our own heritage within the performance, you know? And that's really what people want to see. They want to see you show something that's original to where you are.
Yeah, well said.
So that's a huge, like a major difference.
And then, I mean, I'll pose a question to you and to Mark. B-Boys wise, because you spoke about cruise earlier. There was a klomp cruise back then. It was the yellow cruise. Now it's like way less. Like, do you think it's fading away and why? Just, we can keep
like, I think I mean, when the first Battle of the Year, South Africa started like, something like probably 50 crews. And it felt like that.
Are you serious?
Yeah, there was a lot. And I mean, from all over, George, Portable, Oudtshoorn, yeah, everybody was there. I think what happened also with the influence of footage being available and when the like 2-on-2 vibes came in and one-on-one solo battling came in, so that created more the idea of I need to stand alone, you know. So there's no more that crew life, like, you know,
the
dependent on the crew life. Back in the day when we used to work out the battle, you know, you needed everybody in the crew because everybody played a role. You know, you had to be able to pop, you had to be able to do everything, basically, to put the show together. And also, like, there wasn't a lot of access, like they've been saying. Like, so you drew ideas from anywhere.
Sure.
Like, circus.
So
whatever. We used to take things from there and create with that. But like when more access became available with this channel that started out like bboyworld.com, and that just flooded the scene and created this patented b-boy where everybody looks the same. You know, there's the standard way of doing things. And so like before that, there was a lot of crews. I mean,
wow, amazing.
You know, this isn't the first time that there's a lull. You know, like there was this peak in the 80s. And then like with in 85 with like the state of emergency, like we couldn't go to a club with the tackies and like so suddenly like you couldn't get into the club to b-boy and so took a dive. And a lot of the ones also like they were qualifying at high school to go to university or to go work. So this happens all the time. There's nothing new, right? The thing that's new is maybe the disconnect. I think that's also the thing, like when he mentions business, some people don't want to teach because they don't want other means to access like that type of thing, you know. So it's also understanding that the idea of business is actually also to a certain extent an illusion, you know, because they don't care about us. Like the business world really don't care. Like they'll take a bra who doesn't eat this capoeira and he does that freeze and they're like, okay, he's the b-boy for the shop.
Sure.
They don't really care.
They don't know the history.
You know,
but
so it's,
yeah.
so we need to, and it's good that this conversation is happening because it needs to, people need to speak more,
Exactly.
and people need to realize that there are things that are not being said
True.
that is actually a massive reality
Wow.
in the so-called business, because
True.
we don't run the business.
We don't.
You know, we suggested that we do run the business a long time
Okay.
ago, but people were like, nah, they gonna teach what we say.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, put your dance cap on and make money, but it's okay because they're white and they've always made money. But when we try and do that, then nah, they can't even say like
Sure.
And so the self-hatred that is embedded in our history
It is.
comes out within.
Yours, waar?
You know what I mean? So
we don't want to see each other elevate.
You know what I'm saying?
Every day is
Yes.
my bro. We're out here to walk with Mel. These guys are sharing the yellow knowledge. Ik ga al die information by the yellow zoom. I think I break people don't go anywhere to walk with Mel. Yeah, buddy. And we are back. Welcome to a Walk with Mel people today. So fabulous that we're actually with some amazing people sharing some good knowledge. We just touched on how they started, got into the scene, and then I want to speak about the challenges. If each of you can just give a challenge or two, starting from the side, that you guys faced back then.
Right, one of the challenges was like, growing up in the ghetto, I create een paar tikkies vir die jaar. So, when we started dancing, tikkies oma, miskien een paar.
And say that is up.
But you didn't care. And traveling was a challenge back then, but we traveled everywhere. Took the train everywhere, took a taxi everywhere. Where they did, in Mitchell's Plain, Kraaifontein, we were there. You know, we could just take everybody home afterwards. so that was the
Wow,
some of the
as
challenges.
you mentioned, you have over the everything, yeah. And your side is a good one.
Wow. Growing up in the ghetto taught us a lot. It was actually good, you know. Actually taught mental. But a challenge was basically the police.
Wow.
The police. They were the challenge, you know. They
Sure.
used to throw us away out of the town center for dancing.
Yo.
To chase us away for dancing in the mall. They used to like, you know, they used to like arrest us on trains coming from the face and all that. So basically the police, you know,
That was the
their
challenge.
perception of breakdancers was gangsterism.
Yes,
You
you're
understand? And
right.
even to up to today, they have that perception most of the people in the country.
Which is a misconception,
Which is a
yeah.
misconception. So basically, that is the problem, misconception. Other thing is like equality within hip hop.
Yes.
That's another challenge still up to today because you know we need to acknowledge the people that really lay the foundations, and we need to get that people on this panel.
Sure.
Shout out to King Voue.
Zemo.
So the story can be told properly.
Sure.
So when the kids, the new generation get the history and the story, there's nothing left out.
I hear you.
So
I hear you.
when the road is traveled, the road is straight, you know.
I hear
Otherwise,
you.
it's always going to be a rocky road. It's a spiritual thing. So you can't just discard that. So
For
yeah,
sure.
the
No,
police
for
was
sure.
the
The
challenge.
police was
back
like,
in
see
the
if
day.
I love them. And then your side, anything on your side you can mention.
For me, like, challenges are part of the. You got into this knowing that.
True.
So you need to navigate how to solve. And you need to understand that some things just are the way they are, and you need to find solutions to fix it. For example, you don't have tackies, so you group of Owens and you find a way then to give you the tackies because they actually owe us. So you get the tackies, and instead of everybody keeping the tackies that they're enjoying, to sell the tackies so you have a van, so you can take Owens home and solve the problem of transport.
Sure.
So instead of looking at what the struggles are, the struggles are stepping stones for you to find
next level.
solutions to those problems. You know, what is in the way, look at how you find solutions.
Sure
to
thing.
those things.
For sure.
Because
For sure.
the stuff that's in the way is always going to be.
There's life, yeah, I understand. Heeltemal. And then let's talk about the responsibility. I mean, moving to solutions now, because you already touched on it. Responsibility of the older generation, which I think is already there. We're already taking, I mean, looking at the events that you guys are doing. Let's talk about the responsibility of the older generation. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So like, Joe mentioned, like when we started, there was a guy, Jabo, also, who used to preach to us, like the philosophies of hip hop.
He's basically responsible for getting information from overseas and sharing it with people.
Like, so what hip hop means to me now, like, was because of him. Like, I just started out dancing, but I wasn't affiliated to hip hop per se. But once I started listening to him, and he was coming to our practice as well.
Yeah.
So like, I don't see hip hop like that anymore. It's not happening anymore. Like we have graffiti artists, MCs, DJs, b-boys all together in one space and sharing knowledge.
Yeah.
So I think a responsibility now would be us to try and get that connection back, because there is graffiti artists, there is MCs. So to get them together in one space again, so the youngsters can actually see like b-boying is not
it's only one, yes.
Because that's how I started playing music or getting into music, because hip hop has always been
it's
more
bigger
than
than
one,
yeah.
you know, and like knowledge of self is something that is very important.
Sure.
But I don't see that in a lot of b-boys today. So to get that, I think that would be our responsibility to share and maintain that part of hip hop.
Sure. And your side, Mr. John?
Yeah, secondless man, basically. Getting the new generation, passing it on basically, but passing it on properly, you know, so that the youths don't repeat the same mistakes we did.
Sure.
Also, to not get caught up in this fantasy materialistic world. That is not hip hop, that is not b-boy, you know. So you don't need pure to be a b-boy.
Yeah, I know what you mean as an example. Yeah.
So just to pass that knowledge on to the next generation. Less materialistic, make them less materialistic and make them more aware of what's going on.
Wow, lekker man.
Like when we started, there was this organization that Jack belonged to as a b-boy, the Zulu Nation, and all those things. You don't hear about that anymore. You affiliated yourself with the organization. You're part of the Zulu Nation.
Wow.
Which is actually one of the biggest when we hip hop was concerned.
And now you don't even hear about that. Wow, hectic. And then your side responsibility here?
I think the big thing about b-boying that people maybe don't think about is the fact that it's about yourself, battling yourself.
Sure.
And so like, we can complain all we want about everything, unless we challenge ourselves to solve these problems, it's not going to come. I mean, I've sat with Jamo and recorded Jamo and did interviews with a lot of the Owens from back in the day, and then they told about other Owens. And then when you ask those Owens, can we get you to speak? Nah, I got your money footage. None of that stuff was ever sold, it's still there.
Sure.
You know? So there is and it's not only South Africa, this is everywhere in the world. The older Owens feel like, nah, we don't want to share.
Sure.
You know, we don't want to share because they think that it's going to be in the hands of someone who's going to make money.
Wow.
And I can understand because they've got like being chased a lot of times, right?
Sure.
And so like to come back to the battle, I feel like there's nothing that you can do for anyone.
True.
No matter what you like, we went there thousands of kids b-boying, you know, and like you gave them books to read and the books came back with him, what the do you? You know, so it's like people aren't willing to, they need to take the responsibility of actually enlightening themselves. You can't, you are not God to tell someone what they have to do. All of that information was available. Zulu Nation Jamo shared with thousands of people. And if you ask where they own some now, you know, so it's not a bad...
Just to chip in on your word, sorry for your word, that it's not about saving 10,000 people. It's not about that. Even if all those books came back and no one read it, if you at least save one.
I agree with you.
You see, so that is always the mindset and the concept we must work with.
Exactly.
Especially when we go out into the world, because no one can save the whole world. We clear on that. But at least, make the difference in the mind of a youth. A marginalized youth or not, like the privileged youth.
Ask you this question.
That is the thing,
Like if you get a chance to speak to Jamo, and again, you will find many people who have not internalized what Jamo shared with them, because they are exactly as angry about trivial things, about battles. Because it's supposed to be that you improve yourself. It's about you. If you didn't, like sometimes you don't win. Sometimes you do win in your own mind, but the judges are Fadala. But that's just the nature of it. It's about you battling yourself to be a better person. And you don't care what the judge decided because that doesn't tell you who you are. So to come back to knowledge, it's about the individual. I used to think, let's go out and get as many like this to read and I still think that. But at the same time, I'm very realistic about what is possible. And we need to all get to that point about like unless, like I'm more of an example when I act my words. When I'm not at the event like dissing the judges and insulting people. Because that kids learn from your action, not from your words. All kids are like, man, my kids are the same. If I'm going to be rude, they're going to be rude. If I'm going to disrespect their grandmother or their mother, then they're going to disrespect their mother. So people learn from your actions. So if we don't live the word and we can't communicate properly amongst each other, then we are bad examples to the next generation. So that's what I'm talking about internalizing and checking yourself. And we all make mistakes. We all are wrong at some point. You know? And I've stepped away, be honest, I stepped away from the b-boy scene 8 years ago.
Sure.
8 years ago. And it's tumbled to where it is right now. And I'll be honest, last night there was a post that Barry put up, not Barry, someone else, Bizo, about how, like, why are we so angry and fighting amongst each other? And I didn't say anything, but like sometimes something should be left to die so that you can use the foundation, the dead material to grow something new. You know, and maybe people will learn.
I hear what you're saying, yeah. I hear what you're saying, yeah. Thank you for the input. Just want to change a bit of the question. Solutions, the way forward that you guys can just add on that side. What do you think is the solutions and the way forward for us as a community, just to close off the interview? Yeah.
Like I would say we first need to look at ourselves.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We need to leave this guilty and this stuff on social media what we speak about, and just like have more talks like this.
Yeah, no, definitely we want to have more for sure.
More talks like this at the end of the day. The way forward is like if we want to teach other kids like to become better and to we need to look at ourselves, become more role models at the end of the day. You know what I mean?
Take the responsibility once again.
That's very important. And because they are the next generation.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like you come to jams and like the kids don't want to like read you anymore. You know what I mean? Like you just call yourself
yeah, exactly. I think from your side, solutions, way forward, just for the people watching.
Yeah, I mean, like it's been said, actions speak louder than words.
Okay.
If I'm gonna have an attitude, the next brother's gonna have an attitude.
Okay.
You know? So
being the change you want to see by the kind.
Basically, like Adam said,
yeah.
work with volume parties, you know.
Sure.
You know, there's one person that will listen out of
For sure.
And that one will change the next time.
True.
You know.
Love it. Anything from your side, Mr. Joe?
Just pass it on. It doesn't
Pass
belong
it
to
on.
nobody.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
See,
saying? People make it a family business. Everyone's business, you know. It's all of us. So
True story.
yeah, just take what it's not yours anyway. You're gonna die with it if you keep it.
Lekker.
All those footages and stuff you have of Joe Baka back in the days, please post it.
Stuur het, man.
If you want money, I'll pay you. It's mine. So please send it to me. No, on a serious but just pass on your knowledge. You know?
Lekker.
And remember that there's no justice.
Yes.
And there's no peace if there's no justice. So
Sure.
justice, you know.
Lekker. Thank you so much, people, for joining us on the show. So Walk with Mal. I appreciate you guys being on the panel here today. We will have more of these, so you can check us out on Facebook and social media and catch these guys. We'll post the information right after this.